Hi Libra, welcome to your March 2025 AstroTarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So with that, I just want to give you a quick note. Remember, whenever I'm talking about astrology, I'm talking about tropical whole sign Western astrology, for those of you that would like to know. If I ever don't give you the transits or the transit degrees or the dates of them, if I forget, you'll always find that stuff in the link in the description box below. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help us all, you all should I say, on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to give these a shuffle now and then we're going to get started. But the first transit that I want to talk about is your ruler Venus is moving into the sign of is already in the sign of Aries, but she's going to go retrograde, right? So it's not a super rare transit, but at the same time it's not an everyday one, right? It's usually about every 19 months or so that Venus goes retrograde, and obviously as part of a retrograde, a planet will usually go through a Cazimi of some kind. So what's really interesting about this is Venus is you, right? Venus represents your body, your mind, your outlook, your self-expression in terms of like your outlook in life and the way that you navigate through life. Venus for you also rules your 8th house of other people's money, finances, resources, transformation, death, rebirth, regeneration. It also rules the psychic and occult powers and energies. Now with that, it's your ruling planet is in the sign of Aries, right the way across the way from her home. And it's going to go retrograde in your 7th house of partnerships, relationships, significant others. This is not, and it's not always like personal relationship in terms of, boyfriend and girlfriend, etc. and all of that. Sometimes it's personal, sometimes it's professional, sometimes it's platonic, and it can even be familial. This transit is really placing a spotlight, or it's highlighting to you your closest connections, people that you have that really solid one-to-one connection with. This can be clients. If you do something like what I do, your clients would also represent your 7th house. Your 7th house also though represents your competitors. So it's kind of like you, the planet of balance and harmony, is really trying to reassess the balance and the harmony and the mutual respect within your relationships. It's like, are you receiving in return as much as you're putting out or into those relationships? And this period might really see you kind of thinking about any issues that come to the surface around relationships, asking you to address them, to heal them in some way, shape or form. Venus as a ruler of your 1st and your 8th house, it does have a feeling about this where you're wanting like a personal transformation, but like the relationships that you're a part, it's almost like the personal transformation that you're looking for or seeking with Venus going retrograde. It's really going to rely on you looking at your relationships and saying, if I'm going to change and adapt, then these connections that I have to me also need to change and adapt. And if they're not able to, they'll have to be let go. I would not be surprised if old flames, past relationships, people that you used to date, the one that got away, the one that you wish would fuck off and go away, like you could have visitations from all of these kinds of people at this moment in time. So really something to think about. I would say use this time to really reconnect with your personal values and really look at the worth and the value that there is in the relationships that you have. And that's not to say that they have to be giving you something in order to be viable. It's more a case of they have to be in the spirit of true reciprocity in order to really still be a part of your world moving forward. For this, you've got the 4 of Pentacles, you've got the 5 of Pentacles, okay, and you've got the Wheel of Fortune. If your money, honey, has been a little bit funky, if your money's been funny, honey, then this looks like there is a change on the horizon for you. And the message behind this is the work that you do now The hard work and the discipline that you do both on yourself and the connections that you have. Now, I'm going to give you an idea here, and I want you to stay with me because some of you might really get this straight away and some of you might be like, I don't know, Raf. So what I want to say to you is this. You already know that your partner, the person that you are with in life, can either make or break your dreams, right? We all know that to be the truth. We all know it to be a fact. Whether we want to acknowledge that or not, completely irrelevant, right? But that's a basic truth. What is also true as well, so in the Chinese metaphysics system, they say that a leak in the house, in terms of like a leak of water or fluids, is really bad because water can be connected to money. And so what this means is, if you've got a leak, you're leaking finances or you're leaking money. Where you, Libra, are potentially leaking money or finances that's being highlighted to you right now is through your relationships. Whether this is a partner that doesn't carry their own weight financially, whether it is a family member that's always got their hand out, whether it is a friendship circle that expects you to always foot the bill, whatever the case might be, this is going to be highlighted to you this month. And with that Four of Pentacles next to the 5, what's being highlighted is where you need to be a lot tighter with the purse strings as it pertains to your partnerships or connections. And it's not about being tight. It's not about sort of saying, right, well, I'm not giving anyone anything. It's not about that. It's just about really understanding, that if the relationships change and you do the work on those, the money will surely follow. All right, so for the second transit that I want to talk, so that's the 2nd of March, right? We haven't even gone anywhere yet. As we come into the 12th of the month, Saturn is going to go Cazimi, right? It's going to come into a conjunction with the Sun. Again, not super rare, but it is the last time that we're going to have this transit for at least another 30 years. I believe so anyway. Sorry, I had to have a little swig of my tea there. Fennel and mint today. So this is taking place in your 6th house, right? Your 6th house of your physical health and vitality, your work, your daily routines. What Saturn really requires from us is the sweat, the hard work, the discipline, the focus. The Sun for you in your chart rules your 11th house of friendships, benefactors, helpful people, and and being in the 6th house, it's putting a highlight on where maybe physical health and vitality, maybe even, potentially even like your dietary habits, etc., or things around food could be something that you're focusing on at this moment in time. Now, because Saturn for you rules the 4th house of home, family, property, and your emotional foundation, it also rules your 5th house of creativity, joy, harmony, and all of those kinds of good things as well. The message that I kind of get from this is, what's being highlighted to you is it's going to ask you to really take like a disciplined approach to your responsibilities and your well-being, where you are responsible for maintaining yourself, your body, your environment, right, your home. You might feel the weight of this, and you might even feel the weight of some of these commitments. And if your friendships at this time, remember the Sun for you rules your friendships, are feeling a little bit heavier, remember what was happening with this this Venusian energy, and starting to think about, okay, right, are these friendships actually supporting me or are they draining me? I think this might be one of the things that you're being asked to consider at this time as well. It might highlight for you as well where you're overextending yourself, where your daily routines are either not or are sort of supporting your own highest good. Now, in the trine to Mars in your 10th house, and obviously Mars has been retrograde here for a while, it's obviously direct at this point. By the time we get to this point, Mars will have been direct for about 2-ish weeks, right? So in that 10th house, it's not only fueling your ambition now, but it really seeks you taking like actionable steps towards a personal career goal, right? And this alignment, this connection between these planets is going to give you, it's going to inspire you to really dream big, but also it's going to give you those like practical sort of elements to really make this happen through a methodical approach. The work that you're doing now is like laying a very strong foundation. And because it's between water signs, what this always says to me is Mars trine Saturn across the water houses or the water signs always provides an incredible amount of internal fortitude, right? So you've got the power that you need to succeed now. It's just about you putting it into practice. So for this, you've got the 9 of Cups. That's the wish fulfillment. You've got the Death card, and you've got the Knight of Swords, right? So one of the ways that this could show up for you is as a profound realization of really what needs to go. And this won't be a case of like, oh, well, you know, I'm just going to phase this out and, you know, it will just be like no, this is done and now I'm ready to move forward. It will be like a really clear directive that you feel as an internal push. Now, the 9 of Cups with the Death card is also about rebirth and regeneration. And one of the ways that this can show up is like when you get rid of something that you're putting a lot of time and effort in that isn't paying back, you free up time, energy, and resources for things that actually are. And, you know, one of the ways that this could also show up is some kind of spiritual dream or interaction could come through. Remember, this is in Pisces after all, and Saturn is, by, you know, all intents and purposes, also a very spiritual planet. No, it's not Neptune, right? We don't see it in the same way as that, but Saturn is no less spiritual than any other planet. Okay. On the 18th of the month, the Sun is going to conjunct the North Node. This hasn't happened in 18 years. You'll only get one more of these next year before the North Node moves into the sign of Aquarius. This is going to be a pretty big deal, all right? So I say it's a pretty big deal. It hasn't happened in 18 years. You're only going to have one more in the next sort of 2 years, and then it will be done again for the next 18 years. So it is a pretty big deal in my personal understanding. In your 6th house, this is a fated moment in your daily life or in your work environment or in your local area. This could be where you encounter or connect with. Remember, the Sun for you rules your 11th house. The 11th house isn't just groups and associations. The 11th house is also benefactors, helpful people, people that can assist or support you in some way, shape or form. Now, what this says to me is, you could run into somebody in your local area very much by accident. You know, it could be that maybe, you know, and I say this, right? And you say like, oh, well, what are the odds of that happening? But you never know, right? Let's say you stop to help a random stranger on the street because they've got a flat tire, and that person turns out to be like some big celebrity or whatever. This could be one of those really weird and wonderful fated moments, but it's in your local environment. It could involve a shift in your routines, a new job, maybe a project that really aligns with what you feel is like your sole purpose in some way. It could bring a local connection into your world that feels really aligned, that feels just almost like, yes, this is just the perfect timing in some way. It might offer you exactly what you need in order to kind of really get ahead. Think about and pay attention to your intuitive nudges, your synchronicities, especially listen to your body at this time, right? Because it's true to say that the body is the messenger anyway, that your feelings are the messenger. Yes, absolutely. But the 6th house is the body, right? It's the maintenance of the body. So whatever if your body says to you, get up and run, you get up and run. If your body says to you, go round the left corner and take a right, you do that, right? Just follow what it's telling you. I can tell you this without a shadow of a doubt. Your physical being, right, even without your conscious engagement, knows things that sometimes you don't even know how or why. Right? Like I'm going to go on a rant here and I haven't got the time for it, but just trust me, your physical body knows. It knows when you can trust people. It knows when you can't. It knows who is good for you. It knows who is not. It knows who to stay away from. It knows where it's going. So many times, right? And I've talked about this with my wonderful friend, Denise Matthew. We've talked about this a lot. How sometimes if you find that you're lost and you just say to yourself, this is where I need to go, and you walk and you just follow where your body is taking you, 9 times out of 10, you will end up where you need to be because your body knows. It's so clever, right? When you think about how you can close your eyes and touch your nose, or you can feel somebody even with your eyes closed, that's called proprioception. And it's where your body knows where it is in space at any given moment. So trust it at this time. So you've got the Emperor, you've got the Knight of Wands, and you've got the Three of Wands. This is a moment to travel. This is a moment to really get acquainted with your local environment, where you live, who, like in your area, all of your usual haunts, your gym, your bank, the supermarket. This is going to be a month where I would say this will be an active month for you anyway, but around this time you want to be really active in your local community. Go to all kinds of invites, go and see, different shows and exhibitions and displays in your local area. See what is surrounding you at this time, because it could lead you to some really good connections. The Emperor would be, like an important or potentially powerful person. The Knight of Wands would be the travel that you're doing, and also, knowing that there's something for you to do here. There's some purpose here in your local area that you're meant to fulfill. And the Three of Wands, an expansion of your vision. All right, on the 20th, Neptune is going to go Cazimi, right? So again, not a super rare transit, happens once a year, but this is the last time that it will ever happen in Pisces in any of our lifetimes. Why? Because Neptune this month is going to move into Aries. It will go back into Pisces, but by the time that happens, the sun will have already gone round and Neptune will be in the sign of Aries full time, right? So Neptune, Cazimi. This is the Sun and Neptune conjunct in this 6th house of physical health and vitality. Around this time, so the 19th, the 20th and the 21st, I want you to really pay attention to your health. Look after your physical being. Give it what it wants. If there are cravings for certain types of foods, before you just go and gadget that food, look at what its nutritional value, its mineral value, etc., and all the vitamin value is. The reason I say this is because, again, if the body is the messenger, right? It's like pregnant women. When they're pregnant, they're like, I want this, I want that, I want friggin' pickles covered in ice cream and chocolate sauce, like, Do you know what I mean? Like, true story, when my sister was pregnant with my nephew, it was strawberries. She just couldn't get enough strawberries, right? Now he's 7 at this point, and he's obsessed with strawberries. He absolutely loves them, right? Like it's a real favorite of his. Now, that being said, you think about that, that's your body telling you these are the nutrients or the minerals or the vitamins that I need right now. So if around these days, the 19th, the 20th and the 21st of March, right, if you're getting cravings at this time, go and look up what those foods are going to do for your body, what your body is actually asking you for. 1, because it will be knowledge that will be invaluable, and 2, because you may be able to, so as an example, I remember reading an article and I can't find it anywhere. It's so frustrating because it was really, really handy. So as many of you know, I'm a junk food junkie. I'm doing really well at this point so far, by the way, in the new year. So, but self-confessed, right? Sugary stuff, all of that kind of stuff. I remember reading an article that basically outlined, like, when you crave certain fast foods like KFC or, you know, whatever they are, right? It's basically, it tells you that there are certain things that your body is asking for when you have that craving. Well, if you have that knowledge, you can make a better choice, right? So the only thing that I remember was fried chicken. One of the things was about this was it was your body is asking for more calcium. So now that you know that, you can eat tomatoes. Did you know tomatoes are really high in calcium? They're really good, as a good source of calcium. You can take, you know, a calcium supplement, or you can maybe look at other sources to get that from. So listen to your body at this time, because it's really going to be speaking volumes to you. Now, that being said, it could bring a bout of spiritual healing, a sense of purpose to your work. It might even be, and obviously this is Neptune we're talking about, so do watch out for that. You might feel like a pull towards exploring spiritual medicine or practices at this time, such as like a hermit's walk. I call that, you know, a mushroom journey is a hermit's walk. Meditation, plant medicine, which could really help create a profound shift in how you meet the world on that day-to-day level. It's a really powerful time to integrate physical body with spiritual processes and ideas, because it's in the sign of Pisces, right? So for this, you've got the Justice card, which is you, right? So that's literally you and your body are showing up here. With the Moon card, okay, so the Moon card is ruled by Pisces. Look at that, right? Look at this. And then you've got the Star card. This will be some kind of really profound wisdom that you learn at this time. And it will be things that stay with you forever. One of the things that I also want to highlight to you here as well, because Neptune is water, it's the seas, you do want to just make sure, like, you're looking after your mucous membranes, your, you know, the lining of your gut, all of that kind of stuff at this time, right? And especially because Neptune can leech the energy, you just want to make sure that you really are looking after your health at this time that much more. All right, but all in all, I absolutely love this. And that Star card here, because the Moon is the past, the Star card is the future. So this is you, literally, Justice, the scales, balancing out the energies of the past and the energies of the future, right? And just so many interesting things here, really. And then finally, on the 31st of the month, Neptune will move into the sign of Aries. We have not seen this in our lifetimes. And although it's going to be there for the next 14-ish plus years, we won't see it again in our lifetimes, right? So really, this is a big moment. Now, it's only dipping in. It won't go in full time until 2026. This is a shift into your 6th house. Into your 7th house. This is going to be your partnerships and your relationships will take on a much more spiritual connotation. This is that the long-term transit brings it's bringing a spiritual and idealistic tone to all of your partnerships. Does it resonate on a soul level? When it comes to love and relationship in a personal sense, only that soul deep love will do now. Right? Like you're not looking for the surface level. You're looking for a partner who wants to be truly connected in all senses of the word. You know, even in your professional, platonic and familial connections, you might find that they take on a deeper significance to you. You're not really looking for a partner. You need someone who's something more, someone who resonates with your evolving spiritual ideas, ideals and values. Remember, Neptune can be a distorting energy, and so you want to be careful of over sort of idealizing others and looking past their red flags and stuff, right? You got to really look at things exactly as they are and listen with your spirit, not just your mind or your loins, darling. All right, that soul level connection is what you're looking for, but you got to remain mindful of your own needs and your boundaries as well. For this, you've got the Empress, of course you do, because that's you. You've got the Eight of Wands, okay, and you've got the Queen of Cups. So this will be a time where new connections are made on a friendship level. This will also be a time where you're able to see the beauty in everything and everyone. And what this also tells me with that Eight of Wands, there are new connections and collaborations coming in of all kinds that will center around commercial activities and ideas that could be absolutely phenomenal for your resources, providing you know you have the right people in your connection. All right. With that said, I'm going to pop these to the side. And before we get into your lunations, if you have ever wanted to study tarot with me and you think, you know what, I want to take Raf's course, it's 12 weeks. You get 12 live classes, 2 live Q&As. On top of that, you get live client demo, live client practice, as well as practice on your fellow students. As if that wasn't enough, you get homework, you get quizzes, and as if all of that wasn't enough, you also will get enough PDFs to sink a ship, right? So if you've ever wanted to study tarot with me, you think, yeah, you know what, I want to get, I want to do it like Raf, no problem. Come join my course. Now, for those of you that can't, because you're half the world away, you can't commit to it, for time, etc. For the first time ever, I'm doing a double launch. So you will also be able to get the Teach Yourself Tarot course, which is no live component. So it's the same course. It's still me. I'm still giving you all of my best and brightest, but you do this in your own time at your own pace. All right. So if you are ready for that, you want to take it to a whole new level in your tarot reading, the links are in the description box below. So for this, you have no, wrong deck, Raf. So on the 14th of the month, where are you, Luna? She's here. On the 14th of the month, we will have the full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo, which for you represents your 12th house. Now, a 12th house eclipse of the subconscious, of endings, completions, of spiritual growth. This eclipse is bringing hidden truths to light. This is where information that has been hidden, information that could be shocking or, really sort of disruptive in some way may come to the fore. This is a time for really deep introspection and healing, but it's also a time for you to really understand your past and to put it in the right context. Since the 12th house is also the other half of the story that's playing out for you with all of the 6th house stuff, this is highlighting the body, the physical health and vitality. This is highlighting the mind and the spiritual health and vitality. So spiritual health, spiritual cleanliness will not be ignored, and it cannot be forgotten at this time. The 6th house, 12th house activation, it really is about the physical and the spiritual aspects of life. That's what's really being sort of highlighted to you at this time. For this, you've got the gate 24 and returning. Interesting that the 12th house is the past then, because this may be you returning to a time where you felt a lot more sure, a lot more confident, or maybe even a time where you just had to be those things because there was no other option. This may really force you to confront some of your self-sabotaging tendencies and potentially where you give your power away. And then on the the 29th of the month, you will have a new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Aries. This is the last one in this sign. It's really offering you a fresh start in partnerships with new perspectives on how you can connect with others. The eclipse energy is encouraging you to really think about or set intentions for healthier, more balanced, more fair relationships and partnerships in some way. And for this, you've got the gate 49 and revolution. And this is in the human design system. This is what's referred to as the sleeping phoenix. And so what this tells me is, for a lot of you, there's a new relationship of some sort on the horizon that will really highlight something big for you and to you. What it also tells me as well is, for those of you that are single, this could be a time that activates and sets into motion a brand new relationship for you in some regard. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic March. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.